We are decadence incarnate, cloaked in comfort, hulled by spectacle, baptized in indulgence. We wear ruin like a tailored suit, stitched from silk and denial. Our cities shimmer with artificial light, masking the dimming flame of anything that has real meaning. We gorge ourselves not just on food, but on validation, endless scrolling, infinite praise, curated lives for our unseen gods. We don't worship progress, we consume it. Strip it down, sell the parts, leave the skeleton behind. Every generation believes it's the pinnacle. Ours is no different. Except we know it's ending. And we celebrate anyway. We build nothing sacred. We mine history for aesthetics, commodify rebellion, and sell nostalgia to the dying. Our pleasure isn't the poison, it's the anesthesia, keeping us numb as our souls hemorrhage. And still we smile. Because the collapse is comfortable. Because decay is beautiful. Because we were taught to confuse rot for richness. We are decadence incarnate. The question is no longer how did we get here? It's why are we so content to stay? Decadence isn't wealth. It's what happens when a culture turns inward. When it trades purpose for pleasure, struggle for comfort, meaning for surface. Historian Jacques Barzun called decadence the moment when society loses its creative will. Effort feels pointless. Everything becomes parody. Oswald Spengler said all great civilizations move from a spring of creation to a winter of repetition. Art becomes imitation. Politics becomes performance. Truth becomes taste. I feel that Rome showed us the blueprint. Gladiator games, public spectacle, corruption, all under this illusion of glory. And as the empire swelled, it became top-heavy, cut off from the discipline and the values that once made it powerful. The Weimar Republic was very similar. It was decadent, disillusioned, drifting, and it danced on the edge of collapse. Berlin was vibrant. It was brilliant. It was unmoored. But hedonism replaced purpose. Confusion opened the door to extremism. And yet, instead of learning from that, we romanticize it. Because collapse, in hindsight, always looks like freedom. When nothing is sacred, everything is permitted. And these are pretty reasonable and easy to see symptoms. We produce more content than meaning, more headlines than thought, more noise than signal. The algorithms don't just recommend, they prescribe. They curate all of our outrage. They manufacture our identity. Your feed is your ideology. A custom fit dopamine cycle with no truth in it at all. All of our institutions have become punchlines. We mock what we used to respect. We meme what we used to build. Cynicism is our currency and irony is our armor. We glorify self-expression, but in reality, we fear disagreement. Everybody talks and nobody listens. Discourse has become a performance. Identity has become a weapon. We live in a world where rebellion is curated and dissent drops merch, where movements are branded before they're even understood. We mine history for looks, not lessons. We wear revolution like it's a denim jacket. No cause, no cost, just aesthetics. And nostalgia, that's our safe space now. We remix the past because we've quietly stopped believing in our own futures. And I think the scariest part is that it doesn't feel wrong. It feels good. It feels great. It feels addictive, safe. But safety isn't complacency, and being complacent isn't going to get us anywhere. There's a historian that I'd like to quote here. Arnold Toynbee once wrote that civilizations don't die by murder, they die by suicide. And here we are, grinning as we light the match. We have this psychological need that has arisen in modernity for numbness. And that numbness comes to us through pleasure. And humans weren't built for constant pleasure. Like, we just weren't. We were made for contrast, for meaning born in friction. And now everything is convenient. Everything is optimized. Everything is numbing. I recently read a book by a neuroscientist. I believe her name was Anna Lembke. And in that book, Dopamine Nation, she calls this whole process a world soaked in cheap highs. We're all glued to screens, to likes, to our Uber Eats. We stream despair. We don't suffer anymore. We scroll through it instead of going through it. And I gotta be completely honest, I'm no exception. I've taken that bait before, lived the loop, until I realized I wasn't living. I was just drifting through this haze of unbeing. Because without suffering, there is no contrast. And without contrast, there is no meaning. We've all become comfort addicts. Viktor Frankl warned that what we need isn't peace, but purpose. Not freedom from struggle, but something to struggle for. And we traded all of that for curated lives, for algorithmic affirmation, for the silence of a life unexamined. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. We deleted our whys, and now we're drowning in the how. The problem isn't that we care about appearances. It's that we've mistaken them for substance. In decadent societies, perception becomes reality, and reality becomes optional. From Rome to now, we've watched every failing society choose form over function. Choose bread and circus, gold and rot. They built coliseums while the ground split beneath them. In us, we sit by and scroll through our own collapse, color graded for maximum engagement. Today, the spectacle is the structure. Reality TV is seen as real, as if it's some kind of documentary. We watch Instagram lives that are staged like film sets. Even our tragedies hit better when paired with trending audio. We live in this kind of hyperreality, where the copy becomes more real than the truth. We no longer live here. We render everything. We don't share moments, we perform them. We don't connect, we curate. Our communities have collapsed into brands. Our identity has become a marketing strategy. Camille Paglia said that when a culture begins to die, its art becomes obsessed with surface and irony. And I think she was right. We don't build cathedrals, we Photoshop them and call it legacy. There's actually a trend right now on TikTok called Collapse Talk. It's all apocalyptic memes, vaporware of rusted malls and flickering neon signs in food courts. And when you look at it, you realize that we've essentially aestheticized extinction. We made the end of the world so appealing that we've turned it into our own personal mood lighting. Movies like Don't Look Up don't warn us, they wink at us, and Let the Last of Us doesn't horrify us. It cheerily haunts us in beautiful 4K. We aren't just witnessing the collapse, we're vibing with it, choreographing our own demise to studying girl lo-fi beats and melancholy filters. And I gotta be honest, none of that's new. The fall of Rome was romanticized by the Renaissance. The 19th century decadents drenched themselves in perfume and poetry, danced away their decay in velvet gloves. The despair for them was dandy. The rot was romantic. And we've done it all over again. We've commodified our despair. We bottled the entropy and slapped a price tag on it. We stream doomsday. We meme it, merchandise it. Because if we must fall, at least it'll be on brand. So, what now? What do we do? I think the first step is rejecting the anesthesia. Feeling again. Suffering again. Seeking something real again. Because meaning isn't found in comfort. It's found in pursuit. We need to create, strain, believe. Simone Weil posited that to be rooted is perhaps the most important and least recognized need of the human soul. We need to root ourselves in something deeper than all of this content. Something more sacred than image. More lasting than this perpetual pleasure and instant gratification. And I have to be completely honest, it won't feel good. Not in the least. It's going to hurt. But pain is proof that you're alive. I'll say it again. We are decadence incarnate. But we don't have to be. The rot may be real. The collapse is definitely tempting. But meaning still waits beneath all this rubble. If you feel the weight of this moment, you're not alone. If you feel numb, if you feel hollow, if you feel like you're scrolling through your own life, good. That means that you're still capable of feeling something. And from that feeling, a new world can be built. We just have to want it. And that starts with the question. But why though? Thanks for watching. Use your words wisely. Live your life with meaning. And as always, stay curious, stay sharp, and speak like someone's listening. I'm Milan, and this was But Why Though?